over here.
All right, I'm just pulling up the agenda in my email here. Tom, what day did you send? I'm just trying to find. What day did you send the agenda?
Today, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it was today. Okay, that's why I'm looking on the bottom there.
we put that on the screen, the agenda.
Yeah, I can't seem to find it in my email. I don't know what happened to it.
You have a paper one?
Over there.
Oh, here we go. It's in the top of my inbox. That's why it came back. It was a resend. All right. So the first item of agenda is to approve the minutes from October 25th, 2023. Did everyone get a chance to review the minutes?
Yes.
Yes.
Any amendments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes as read from October 25th.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that, Bruce.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I,
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, minutes are approved. Next item is application 2416S, the two-lot subdivision for Mr. David Modica. I do not have the application here, but I'm assuming it's in front of Bruce right at the moment. Or sorry, not Bruce. Jim, do you have it?
I have it in my hand right here, yeah.
I'd be happy to pass the torch and let you kind of read the synopsis of it, and then we can move from there.
Okay, applicants David Modica. This is on physical location is Foss Road. Permit number 2416S. Subdivide 64.84 acres into lot 2A 34.23 acres and lot 2B 30.61 acres. Lot 2A has 525 feet of road frontage, more plus or minus. Lot 2B 935 feet of road frontage. It goes on to start with a third lot. This is just a two-lot subdivision? Or is it more than that?
I'm not getting what you're saying. I don't.
There's a boundary adjustment there too.
Okay, this doesn't say anything about that.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Okay.
There's actually a separate application for the boundary line adjustment.
Okay, so that's nothing to do with us. So the 935 feet of road frontage is all on Foss Road, or is that including going on to Corley Road?
According to that map, yeah.
Yeah. And so the 30 acres is, so this is a little bit confusing here. I don't know if you want to come over here and just kind of show me what this is? I'm seeing like a 13.81 acres and then 6.5, 2.1. So this one's pretty much self-explanatory. There's the 525 feet on that particular lot. And then the other one, the 30.61, is that all of this?
Oh, this is the 30.
Oh,
This is,
so let's.
it's upside down. And I had a hard time figuring it out too. This is, there's 30 acres here, okay? This up to here, down here, and up here. Okay, that's the 30-acre one, okay?
So it's on both sides of the road
Right,
here.
right.
Okay,
Right.
and it's all gonna be one lot.
Right. I had a hard time reading this because like I said, it's upside down for some reason.
Okay,
But anyways, so that's one. And then,
then the other one's up here.
no, yeah, this,
That's the 34.23.
um, see. This is my lot with with my house. Okay, there's 82 acres in there. Okay. This here is the other, going to be the other lot, and it's going to come and tie into this guy's property here. And
So this is where the boundary line adjustment
right.
is coming into. So what is the actual boundary of the 30 acres on this side? Is that this right here?
Right.
Okay,
This is the 30
Okay.
acres here. Okay.
and this is all part of the boundary line adjustment
Um,
from here.
no, this is Joel's
That's
property here.
a
This
different
is,
property.
yeah, this
Oh,
is not.
he owns both sides of the road.
Yeah,
Okay.
he does, right. And what we're doing is we're tying this lot here, this lot here into his property down
Okay.
here, right there.
Okay,
Ties into his property. Here's the boundary line, but this is separate.
okay. All right.
Took me a while to figure it out too. So.
Yeah, I wasn't even looking
Yeah.
on this side. Okay,
Think you got it?
I do. Yeah, I don't know if Maxfield does or not from that conversation, but
A little bit. So it's a 2-lot subdivision, but there's a third lot that's a boundary line adjustment.
there's a third portion of the property that's going to be boundary line adjusted to an adjoining neighbor. And one of those two lots, lot 2B, is on both sides of Foss Road.
Okay, so Foss Roads kind of bisects that lot.
Yes,
And then that boundary line adjustment lot, the smaller, what was it, like 8 acres or something?
total of 8.6, it looks like.
So that one is south of Foss Road?
It looks like it's actually north of Foss Road.
Okay, so we would have been, if you're driving in Foss Road, we would have been coming in the top of the map.
I'm not sure actually how this works. So you got Corley Road, which I'm assuming I'm sure it's like this.
Let that thing.
So this is Corley Road here. You seeing that? I believe this Route 15 would be up in here. So you'd be coming down
Okay.
this way, heading south, and then it would be a left on Foss Road. And lot 2B is this and this. Lot 2A is this one.
Okay, now I see Foss Road. I didn't see it before.
Yeah, so the road frontage for 2A is from here to here,
Yeah.
525 feet. The road frontage for 2B is here to here, but also the other side of the road from here to here. I don't know if they're counting all of that as road frontage. They might not be, just by looking at the scale here, this being 525 feet, and this being 935 feet. It's actually even more road frontage than that if you count the other side of the road.
I was gonna say, yeah, do you count both? If you do, that's even more. Are there any existing structures?
Are there any existing structures on any of this? Okay, but on these particular lots, are there any existing structures on these two lots?
You want?
Any existing structures, houses?
Oh, no, no, yes, this,
It's all just raw land.
right, right.
Okay.
This is my existing structures down there. So that's the rest of my property down here. There's nothing here. There's a small house there, but that's not my property, but there's nothing on here. Couple tree stands. That's it.
So you own, where do you own here? You own this over here?
Right, right. This is my pond. From here all the way down to the brook down there and down to
Okay.
the.
So what you're keeping left is actually lot 1 then. So it is a 3 lot. So
Yeah, what we're keeping is probably like 82 acres. At least that's what Matt said. The balance of.
okay. So Maxfield, I'm guessing that this lot here should probably be shown in its entirety.
Yeah, right, right. That's the 82 acres left goes with the building and the pond down to the brook and then of course down here to Fish and Wildlife, you know. That's in its entirety. So actually the only thing that's getting sold is 30 acres in this parcel of property here that goes.
Right.
Yeah, right.
The boundary line adjustment.
Right.
So, but because this is actually a 3 lot subdivision, 1, 2, and 3, this is also a subdivided lot, which should probably be shown in its entirety on the map.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I know I bought it in different parcels. Okay, I
Okay.
bought, that's
Well,
what
that's-
happens.
that's-
See, I
that
bought
could be
this
different.
with 69 acres and then this used to be Beckerhoff land. I bought that from
And
her.
is this the original boundary line between those two, or is that?
Right, right. That's the old
Okay.
Valdrin.
So
Right.
these are, they were never merged or anything like that. They've always been separate.
Anyone?
Have they ever been merged? Like, did you have merger language in any of the deeds? that
I don't-
merged This lot with that lot?
I don't know.
I think so.
Surveyor.
You
would
think
know
there
that.
was?
I think there was.
It has to be listed, you know, like. for-
Right, right. It would have to be in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
deed or in addition to the
Yeah.
deed.
Would it help if I got the current use map? It would have the whole parcel on there.
It would help to be a little more aware of what we're actually looking at.
Yeah, the UVA map, even if you don't do a boundary line adjustment, the UVA map can still show contiguous parcels if they're under common ownership.
Right, they won't necessarily show boundary lines of any subdivided lots, though.
So it almost sounds like it might actually already be potentially be subdivided to some degree.
It's between lots 1 and lot 2A. But if there's merger language, I don't know why anybody would actually do that unless it was a requirement of a sale or something like that. If there's merger language, then it's no longer subdivided. So it's orient this the same way.
Yeah, there's the truth of pudding right there. That's done by the state, by,
So this here is this, right? So you actually bought it in severals? Oh, yeah, that's different. These lines are actually showing areas.
Yeah, there's
So
woodlands. and
they're
stuff.
not necessarily boundary lines.
Are those forest stand types?
They are, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's us. I mean, this line and this line look like they correspond.
Yeah.
And this, the outline of this entire thing corresponds with that, but this inner line here has nothing to do with this. Nor does this inner line. This is somebody, that's the other guy's property, right?
That's where the
That you were
boundary
telling
line
me, right?
adjustment's
Yeah,
going
right,
to here.
right.
And this is Mr. Knott, is right here.
Okay.
That looks a lot plainer, doesn't it?
Well, except for all the lines that, you know, as far as what we're concerned, we're not really looking at forest types.
No.
You know, it's not a
It's
forest
kinda
management
confusing
plan.
calling it a lot with acreage, because that's not true. That's not all the leftover acreage.
That isn't, that's not the 48.7 acres.
I think it's more than that. There's 123.5 total.
Total. So why is it calling it 48.7?
Is this a question for Matt?
This portion here, okay, was actually Beckerhoff's property. And her property line actually came over into here, across here, okay? So what Matt has done is come up here and take a portion of the Beckerhoff property that give me 30 acres with this, okay? So this is all my property. It was Beckerhoff property and that ties in with mine here. And he said approximately 82 acres is what's going to be left.
That's going to be.
Right,
this
right.
one here.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess my only question is, were these two lots merged? And if they were, then you probably should show on the plat of subdivision, the entire lot with the adjoining landowner.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't subdivide anything down here. All I did was add this parcel of land here to Beckerhoff. And some way, somehow, there's a map, there's got to be a map somewhere as to that effect. And this original parcel was 69 acres. It belonged to Sudom. And I bought that. And then Bob Corley came down and said, why don't you buy that Beckerhoff land? I said, okay, I didn't know it was for sale. So I bought it from them, and then Bob Corley came down again. He said, Dave, why didn't you buy this land for me up here? And I said, I didn't know it was for sale, but I'd like to have it, you know? So that's how it ended up, you know?
Okay.
That's how it ended up. But for sure, the original Beckerhoff land came across here. There's a pin over in here. And the original Beckerhoff land, and it was 40 some odd acres over in here somewhere.
The question is though, did you merge all these into one lot?
Particularly this lot and this lot.
Well, at one point, what happened here was, okay, the gal that I was with, Brenda, we decided to, and Matt did the survey on it, split the land between her family and my family, okay? And that's got to be documented someplace, because when we did that, we drew up a contract. If anything happened to Brenda, her portion would go back to my family. Okay, well, she died of cancer.
Interested in all of the.
Yeah, so Matt he did all that surveying too. So that's all null and void, you know, even though he did that. But there's got to be some documentation on it somewhere, you know. And I know that in the clerk's office, they had that documentation, that if something happened, Brenda went back to my.
And what was the half that she had title to? Was the subdivision of that anywhere in here?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
So one of the reasons why I ask is, see this drawing here, it's got all the adjoining landowners all the way around.
Right,
And, but if this was all one lot, if this was merged with your original lot,
right.
then we would show that entire amount and then the adjoining landowners on the other side of that. That's kind of what's got to be on the plan. You know,
If-
just like these are,
If the lands were merged.
if the lands were merged, but there would have to be something legally, you know, either in the titles when you bought these, that they were going to merge to that, or maybe a quit claim at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at
That
the,
should be here.
If there isn't, then it's not actually merged and there's no
Yeah,
problem.
that should be here. Because all that documentation was done through the town, so.
And that should be something I would have thought Matt would have.
Yeah. You pull
looked
it up?
I have the deed. You bought the land you're talking about now, you bought around 1986. I'm looking at a deed that was recorded in 1986. Birkenhoff from you. I don't see any merger language in this. 42 acres. It talks about a 978-foot road frontage, stone walls.
Yeah, that's the one. That's Becker.
I don't see anything in here.
You know, the thing about it is it could be an additional quit claim that's filed with the deed.
Yeah.
You would have to actually look up the deed in its physical form, I think.
Tom, did you say that Matt is available by phone?
Yeah, well, he said he would. Find
Maybe
us.
he can just answer this.
Tom, before you head out, I know in the past we have waived the requirement to show the entire parcel on a map, especially when it's a large parcel. And the only thing that we required, if the original owner was maintaining ownership of, you know, the larger parcel and subdividing off small parcels, the one I remember was up in the North Wolcott area, up kind of Sand Hill neighborhood. It was an 80 or 100 acre parcel. I forget who owned it. It wasn't Marcel Gravel, was it? Tom, you might remember.
I remember that.
Marcel did subdivide off something like that, but it was like a 1 or 2 acre lot out of 100 and something acre lot. And I know that we have done that, or I haven't. Well, actually, I was on at that time. But
Yeah.
historically, we have done that on the
The
DRB.
recent one with Lucian to his grandson.
Yes.
Right.
So the only difference with this though is, you know, these 2 lots that are being subdivided out are a total of like 60 something acres. They're not 2 acres. I mean, I don't personally have a problem with doing that either, but that's a little bit different.
I agree. And there is a registered survey for the larger parcel that's being retained, or
What's that?
Do you have a survey for your land anywhere?
Do I have the survey?
Survey. Is there surveys on any of these parcels?
Matt just did?
What about a survey for what you're retaining? Is there a survey for that?
I don't know. To my understanding that any survey being done is documented right here at the clerk's office, okay? I might have a map, half a dozen different maps, but
Numbers, books,
Oh,
plat,
there's all
plat
these
number.
Flats
Yeah,
right here.
Yeah. There's a bunch of plats.
There's 19 plats for this parcel.
So this particular parcel has these plats.
It goes way back. I'm just wondering if it's more than 58 acres here.
Well, he's saying it's more like 85. So Matt Reed is the one who's working on this with you?
what's that?
Matt Reed is the one who's working on this with you?
Yes.
Matt Reed,
Yeah.
So usually he shows up on at these things.
He said he couldn't make it. We can call him.
Yeah, why don't you see if he answers? Maybe he can just, you know, address all of these questions.
I could give you. What you call it?
I mean, there's gotta be some documentation here.
I'm sure there is.
Surveys, because I've been paying taxes on 123 acres, so you guys gotta know here what you're charging me taxes for, so you gotta have that documentation or something's wrong with this big picture here. Okay.
Well, I'm sure there is some documentation. It's just, it comes back to that question of, were these two lots ever merged?
This goes back a few years, so I mean, it's tax bill tells me what I get for acreage. How do you guys know what I get for acreage if you don't have the documentation here? You can't just take a figure off your head and say, Dave, you're gonna pay me for 123 acres. So you're using me because you're asking me for information that should be had right here according to my taxes, and it's right on my tax bill.
But there was never, in the past, there was no requirement to have a survey. There's lots of lots that are in this town there's no survey on file on them. There's a deed that describes what the lot is. But, I mean, this isn't a huge issue. It's just, because your lots that you want to do, they look like they're fine as far as any of our rules may go. I'm just
Longest message I've ever heard.
trying to clarify a little bit.
Oh, no, I understand, but what I'm saying is,
We have some.
I do have a bunch of different maps.
Probably
Probably 8 different maps.
Thanks.
Those same maps in my mind should be here. And if they're not here, then I don't know how you tax me on land use states that I don't have or do have, you're pretty accurate with that.
It may or may not be. My own lot was subdivided and the real estate agent handed me a map. Nothing was ever recorded until I recorded it like 20 years later. So it's not a requirement. It wasn't a requirement. So nothing.
Just a message.
Deeds and all that documentation, gotta be here. It's gotta be here somewhere.
Are there dates on those surveys?
Dates, this is dated. No, those are dated
No.
lots.
Well,
Those are the actual deeds.
yeah. I got the book numbers. They're all old. Nothing new on there.
Mm-hmm. So particularly unless it was an original lot, there would, I mean, even if they were original lots, there probably wouldn't be any survey on file. If they were subdivided out of an original lot, somebody actually went through the effort of filing it here, there wouldn't be. So. So Maxfield,
Yeah,
Tom was not able to reach Matt Reed. The rest of this looks fine as far as like lot shapes, road frontage, lot sizes for sure. It just kind of comes down to that plat and what we require on it.
yeah, I mean, we can go through the subdivision plat review and based on what we can see, and then I'm still kind of mushing around in my head, a possible motion of approval with conditions. I'm not entirely sure yet what conditions we might want to apply based on the fact that we don't really know, if there was a boundary line adjustment or a merger at any point. And I think, based on the larger size of the parcel, I'm leaning more toward your opinion that, the entire parcel probably should be on the plat. So we can go, I'll read through the list and you got the plat in front of you. So, we did dimensions and shape. Everything you said checks out on that. Frontage.
Frontage was good.
Access to lots. They have road frontage, so that's not an issue. Usable lots. I think we kind of covered that. And the rest of the stuff that we come into would only really apply if the rest of the parcel is on there, like water systems, wastewater disposal, utilities, that kind of stuff. On the parcels that are showing, those are just raw land, right?
The 2A and 2B are just raw land. The lot 1, which is the lot that he's retaining, does show some buildings on it.
Okay. Well, obviously Matt knows the drill on this stuff. If the plat, expands out to encompass the other parcel, then he's got to show, the well, the septic, the house, the power line. Stormwater management, obviously there's none of this stuff is really applicable. Dry hydrants, whatever, recreation areas. I don't think we have that. There's no common land. And then the ag soils would be the last one that I'm kind of looking at on the list here.
There's nothing delineated on this drawing about ag soils.
Given the size of the parcel, I think probably in this case that should be included in the plat. And I think for Matt, that's just an overlay.
Looking at the forest management plan, area 4. Two, 3, 5, 6. So it looks like it's all forested and meadows. As far as any prime agricultural lands, it does not show that.
So they list prime in, what is it, class 1 and class 2, or the levels of state ag soils?
Not on this current use map. They have, areas 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6 as all being, it's like spruce, mostly softwood.
Yep.
Am I right?
Right.
Which probably tells me that there's probably not a lot of prime ag soils there. Area 4 is a meadow. It's a couple of those. One is on the land that he's retaining in.
Like a managed meadow, or just something where trees won't grow?
Is this a meadow that you mow or to keep open, or is it just where trees won't grow? Is it like really wet, or? I'm not familiar with that area, so you've got some, area 4 here. It's listed as meadows.
Yeah,
So you got, this is a meadow, right?
yeah,
Do you have to brush hog that? or
Yeah.
Anything to keep you, so you
yeah,
mow it? to
yeah,
keep
that's
it
all
open?
brush hog. Yeah,
And that is too.
yeah,
And this is what, just probably hardwoods in there. This is probably a winter shot. And this is on your own property. Another area that you mow?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like on lot 2B, there may be like 2 acres of open meadow. Actually, that was lot 2A. 2B would have like 4 acres of open meadow. And the lot that he's retaining, looks like it's 3.8 acres. So is this the entirety of the rest of your lot here? You don't own over to here or anything like that? So that's somebody else's property.
Right.
There probably isn't another 80 acres there.
What's that?
That may be just another 40 acres.
Yeah, well, what he said was there's 82 acres left. There'd be
Left
about
here.
82 acres left, yeah.
So this right here is 30 acres. That's 12.9, so that'd be about 43. And then another 5 or so would be about 48 acres, which is what
Yeah,
he's
of
got
course,
here,
that's all cut up by
48.7.
Fran too, you know, for the,
Right, I understand
Yeah,
that, but
yeah,
this
yeah.
12.9 goes all the way up into there.
Yeah.
So I think that lot 1 is 48.7 acres, not 85, according to this map. So with that idea in mind here, Maxfield, that retained lot is almost the same size or not much larger than the 2 other lots that he's selling off. Or
The 2 lots
subdividing.
combined.
What's that?
So if you combine those other 2 lots, they're about the same.
Well, no, each one is about the same.
Okay.
Not that much different. That's not the same. So lot 2A is 34.23, lot 2B is 30.61. And the one that he's retaining is 48.7. So it's larger, but not, dramatically larger, like 120 acres and 2 or 5 acres or whatever.
Yeah, they're like 80% of the size of the larger one.
Right. But again, if there's no merger language and you bought this separate, we're having a conversation. And a moot conversation, really.
According to our online mapping, it shows him having two abutting lots. So it looks like, according to this mapping, he's trying to cut apart what was the Birkenhoff land, and where your house is mapped on our current system isn't a part of this conversation,
Okay.
according to the GIS on the town website.
So when they made up this map here and called this lot 1, that makes it kind of confusing.
Yes,
We got a lot 1, 2.
see, I don't know why he did that when I bought that piece of property. Let me see, again, this is confusing to me. But when I bought this piece of property down here, he designated as lot 1 and lot 2, and I don't know why he did that. Because I just wanted it surveyed, so that I would own all this. This property was owned by some guy, some local guy, and he sold it to some guys from Essex. Well, lo and behold, one deer season, I come and there's 20 of them in that little cabin down there. And they're all over my place, right? So the guy that that bought it after the Essex guys. He was gonna put a bed and breakfast in there. And then he decided he was gonna go sell French fries in New York. So I said, well, okay, you interested in selling that? Because I don't want 20 hunters down here anymore. So I bought 8.2 acres surrounding that cabin. So I owned all around that cabin. He stopped paying his taxes. And so I came and bought his property on tax sale. And then the guy that's here now paid him what he wanted for it, and he paid off his taxes. So the guy, and he's still there now. But that's the history with that property, you know. And Matt's done all that surveying. And I was under the impression, again, like that all that stuff went right here, you know. And at one point I had a guy that ran a local restaurant want to buy part of the Beckerhoff land from me, David Vinnick. And I said, how much do you want? He said, I'd like to buy 25 acres in that field, to include that field to build there. I paid to have it surveyed, and he decided he didn't want it. So there's probably a survey going right through there too, you know? So, and then again, when Brenda and I decided to split the property up, Matt broke it into another survey. Guys got a lot of money in the surveys here. And Brenda died, and it's recorded here in a deed. It reverted back to the land, to my trust, for my family. So that should all be there. I don't have all that documented. I might have it somewhere, but it should be here. Because again, like I said before, you gotta know it because you're taxing me for all that, you know? So I'm at wit's end with this thing, you know?
Yeah, on the DRB here, we don't really know that much about the taxing, but at least most of us. This plat would definitely have to be clarified.
Yeah. I'd actually emailed Matt to explain what this is, because this is confusing. His explanation didn't help.
You'll be able to send a link to this thing to Matt to
Oh,
watch, so he can watch and listen to all of this discussion also through YouTube.
yeah.
Does a surveyor have to keep, I don't know anything about this, but does he have to keep detailed records of property he surveyed in his files?
Yes,
So,
and all of those,
Yeah, you know?
most of those surveys listed on that map
Yeah.
are from Matt's father.
I guess it probably wouldn't have been a bad idea if he'd been here with all his records, you know?
Yeah,
It would have been a lot
For
easier.
something as kind of confusing as this, yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I'd like to just say, well, this is completely set, you know, your lot that you are on is a completely separate thing, and you just got a 2-lot subdivision going on
Yeah.
here. But then labeling this as lot 1, that definitely would have to change on the plot.
He did tell me when he gave me the bill that there was like 82 acres left on my personal property with my home, okay? And so the balance should have been up to what my tax bill said. It was, I forget now, it's 123 or 128 acres, something like that.
Total.
Yeah.
Total right now.
Yeah.
So you have 64 and 48. Well, that right there is 112. And then you got the other 8 acres. So yeah, that would be it. So you're not retaining 85 acres, you're retaining that 48.7.
You gotta understand, I never graduated high school, so I'm not good at figures.
Graduated but a long time ago. So.
But I think he plans to retain the 48.
Right.
The house is on, as well as.
Right.
what's labeled as what, lot 2A, that upper 30-acre lot. You plan to keep one of the 30-acre lots that you're
yes,
subdividing.
Right,
So
right.
that's where you're getting the 80. and you're coming up with the 50.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right,
So it'll be shown live, saying the same thing, I think.
yeah, okay.
Hi there, just in time. So, we got other questions for who wants to talk to Matt?
Do you,
One speaker.
do you want to put,
Have him sign in?
do you want to have him call into the Zoom?
Yeah. Hey, can you zoom in? Yeah.
Shows
Here, I'll give you this old one.
the houses on.
Yes.
I'm Matt, this is Dolan, I'm like the meeting exec.
He shows
Um,
that line right off.
Two options, you can call a
This
phone
being
number
one
and
of
then
the
punch in some
houses.
numbers. and you'll
This
see
being
who's
the 8
meeting on
acres that
phone.
he's.
Or I can give you the meeting info that you can get in.
Really, according to this, does look like. He's
Okay, you have Zoom on your phone?
cutting it in half.
Okay. no problem. So we'll just give you-
Let's not do that. We can hear him on speaker.
There you
But
go.
he's not coming into the recording call.
Well, put him closer to the microphone.
So this line right here is that line.
That's what appears to be.
Let's just do this.
Is,
We're gonna put this phone right next to our microphones for the meeting, so there you go. All right, here you go.
It's bad. It's always as bad.
No.
Hear me?
Oh,
yes, you can hear you.
confusing.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Do you have a copy of this,
It's working.
the sketch or I guess it's a plat that you drew for the Foss RD Revocable Trust?
I don't have one right in front of me. I got called away to something else tonight. But I get a good idea of what's going on. So if you just ask me some questions and I can answer.
So we're trying to ascertain what he should have on this plat for the subdivision. So right now it's listed as lot 1 that he's going to keep of 48.7 acres. There's a lot 2A,
Yep.
which I guess he's going to keep that too, but it's going to be a separate lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot 2B,
Yeah.
which he may, well, it doesn't really matter what he's going to do with it. He's subdividing it off though. So he says that he bought what constitutes lots 2A and B and his original lot 1 as separate deeds.
So he did. And what happened was is he did a later quick claim deed that joined every lot together.
Okay, so he did merge the lots.
He did merge all the lots except for what we're going to call the Max Hot lots over in the back there, behind, oh God, what's his name? It's further going down court towards Corley.
So what do you,
That was always separate because it was bought much later.
and that's the
But yeah,
portion
he
that,
joined all the lots, and then in 2016, the lot that his house is on, he did a subdivision permit, and it was approved to separate out his house lot from the rest of the land.
and was it on,
That's plat 16E.
okay, so that's already subdivided then.
That's already subdivided. Yep. That was
So-
done and approved in, I said 2016, but it's
Okay.
plat 16 Echo.
Yeah,
That was done.
yeah, I'm seeing
And I drew
that.
that on there so that was a separate line that was created and approved. If
Okay,
you go look at the plat, it's stamped and everything by the CRB.
okay. So well, that answers a lot of questions then.
Yep.
Because one of the things we were wondering, normally we would have the entire plat and all the adjoining landowners of the subdivided portion.
Yep.
So he is actually one of the adjoining landowners then, if he's already
Exactly, yep.
subdivided.
That's why
Okay.
I didn't go that far on the plat.
Oh, perfect. All right, that answers everything that I had for a question.
Right. And then he's keeping the parcel towards the Valentine parcel for now, obviously.
Right.
And then the parcel across the road, Foss Road there, there's one parcel. It's has a field, I don't quite remember which parcel number that would be right now, that 2A and 2B that's separated there.
So two B has a field right at the front of it.
Yeah,
And actually two A has a 2 acre field, and 2B, which is the one that's across the road,
yeah,
has what looks like a 4 acre field. So I'm looking at a current use map here.
oh,
Calling it meadows. And I see,
Yeah.
I see, looks like you have them delineated out here too.
yeah. So that's gonna go as one thing, and then there's also, I don't know, I think Tom can sign off the boundary line adjustment, the other part.
So, yeah.
That's happening.
So I think Maxfield had a question about agricultural land.
Okay, yeah, something that I rarely ever do in town, but I can add that on there. Just have it added to the notes, and I will put it, if there is state ag soils, I will put them on the survey.
Okay. All right. I believe that's all the questions I had for now.
Okay.
You catch all of that, Maxfield?
Yeah, so it sounds like it, from what I heard, it was merged at some point.
It was, but it was, since then, it was subdivided out and there is a plat. It went through subdivision permit here through the DRB process. And that what is showing as lot 1 here is actually its own separate lot already from the rest of it. So that becomes actually becomes one of the adjoining landowners that needs to be shown on the plat.
So the two 30-ish plus acre parcels, one of those is already subdivided out.
No, so what's listed here is lot 1, the 48.7 acres that he's keeping
Yeah.
is actually already subdivided out. You know, after he
Oh.
merged everything together, he subdivided that lot out, one that has his house on that he's retaining. That's already been subdivided.
So we're kind of looking at a subdivision of a subdivision.
I guess you would call it that, yeah. Not very uncommon, I think.
Right. No.
But because of that, you know, they do have all the adjoining landowners, and it's got him, you know, Foss Road Revocable Trust. He basically becomes the adjoining landowner on that side, even though he actually owns all the rest of it. But because it's already all subdivided out.
So the map that we're looking at is adequate in terms of the subdivision.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, we can go through the other list of stuff on here, like it was prepared obviously by a registered land surveyor. There's the lot lines are on there. They're numbered. They're not. Are they numbered or are they lettered?
The lots. The lots are numbered as 2A and 2B.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I
was
guess-
trying to keep the form of the lot going with the numbers so somebody could follow the original subdivision and then sort it out on what's happening there. So the problem is I don't want to recreate different lot numbers than would have been already used. That's why I went with that kind of naming convention.
Yeah, that's fine as long as it's clear. And you said, Jim, all the immediately adjacent parcels have the names and addresses of the owners.
As I do see all the way around it, there's a bunch of different ones, but they are all there. Yep.
And I'm assuming this is all in one zoning district. This is all in the rural district. It doesn't dip into the Route 15 corridor.
No,
Okay.
Correct. It doesn't go to
Yes,
And then we have that. The name and address is on the map of the subdivision. It's in its entirety.
Yep,
Date, true north arrow and scale.
yep,
Total acreage of everything is in there.
yep.
And that's pretty much the other part of the list. So
So Matt said that
Yep.
if you want, we can, or if we want, he can include ag soils on it.
yeah, if you can just, if there are any existing, on the overlay, if you can just put them on there. But I think other than that, I don't see anything that's missing.
Okay, I think we're all set then.
All right.
All right, so I would entertain a motion to approve the subdivision application with the condition that if there are existing prime or statewide ag soils, that they be included on the final Mylar.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so we have a conditional approval.
I figured out I don't.
figured out. It was just the merger.
I
You
don't know how
had
you
merged all
guys
the
pick-
land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
All set?
that's what
We're all
I'm
set.
not doing because I don't have a.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
You kept the same boundaries that you bought.
Yeah.
Wolcott's new lips.
Oh, better.
Three records. And
Figured out. Just, it's a little confusing the way you did it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I guess usually I could answer questions, but I guess that would have been it. Because, I mean, he walked it.
a little bit, yeah. I've done a
It's
couple of-
complicated. He's the one that came up here.
Yeah.
So the next, we've got just a couple more things on the agenda is just to review the findings and decision for a couple of the surveys we got. Did everybody get a chance to review the Linda DeMar 2366S survey?
Yes.
I guess if the board's comfortable with it, we could approve these as a slate. So the next one is the 242S Tulp survey, and then the 2411S the Bedell survey. And I guess the question is, did anyone see anything amiss or things that need to be amended?
We have those on file here. When I got home, actually, I didn't really even see those.
On file, what do you mean?
These, the survey,
There's no survey for Tulp. There is for DeMars and who was the other one?
Goodell.
Medell.
okay.
I
guess
read the
so-
finding-
So we saw those last time.
Yeah, and I read the findings and decision.
Yeah, these
I just
are
haven't seen the
the
map.
plat.
Okay,
They haven't changed from what you saw before.
all right.
I mean, honestly, until, we see the plat, really right now, we're just sort of concurring that the findings and decisions were accurate.
Right.
I don't know, Tom, do we need a motion for this or was this just a review?
Well, I don't need a motion.
Okay. So I guess on other business, we've got 22410S, the Ryan Field, the revised plan. Is that something you're going to update us on, Tom?
I didn't send you field yet.
Okay, I'm just looking.
I'd say, yes, we have a new survey.
You proposed survey. So it's coming off Elmo Pond Road.
Man, I could just make big road to the driveway.
This is the 50-foot right of way. 155 feet, so that was that. Yes, to that. I guess I don't have a problem with that.
And I can see they've got it marked, at least this piece is paved and 8% gravel there.
Private road.
You can go home if you want.
Huh?
You can go home if you want. I would if I were you.
So they're paving all the way up to there.
Is there any question? I just.
You have to
But you
go
know,
home. Yeah.
you know what, I go back to that last deal there when we did divide it up for Brenda and myself.
100% maximum grade along road.
And gave me, crap.
Yeah.
And,
That's like what we were asking for.
like for it then.
Yeah.
And so one of them sat at one end of the table, one of them sat at the other end of the table, the guy from New Jersey, and then my other neighbor. And so the select chair, he looks at one of them, he says, Dave's here tonight, okay? If you got anything to say? Dave's here tonight, you got anything to say? As of right now, it's done,
Yeah.
don't,
Maxfield,
you know.
Yes,
the proposed field subdivision looks like they've included everything that we wanted.
You were there too.
Um,
For that.
The road extends into that upper lot. 60 feet on one edge of it, 40 feet on the other edge, and 50 feet across the front of it. So,
sounds like 150.
yeah, at the very minimum that they had to do, so, which that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's fine.
Okay. And so, Tom, were they looking for confirmation from us before they submit the final plat, or?
Yes.
I guess probably isn't a motion, but if the board, concurs that the revised plan that they sent meets the conditional requirements that we applied on the conditional approval, then we can, I guess, ask Tom to send, that message to them that the board feels that they've met the requirements.
So what about the issue with the slope and paving or something? Is that not an issue anymore?
Well, it is an issue. They have included a existing gravel driveway to become a paved private road. And on it, it delineates as 10% maximum grade along the road.
Okay, so if you're happy with it, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
You'll be happy with it.
So nobody wants to do things over and over and over. So,
Yeah.
yep. Looks like it includes everything that we asked for.
All right, unless anyone objects, I guess we can have Tom just pass on the word that the board feels that the revised plan meets the criteria. The only other thing that we have on the agenda tonight is a Sweetser draft. I guess, and Tom, you're going to clue us in on that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. It's just a proposed mess off of Pinnacle Lane. I don't know if It's gonna come back or not. We started out with 4 lots. Now he's thinking about 2, maybe 3, maybe none. The issue is though, this actually is in the Route 15 corridor. So it's 1 acre lots.
A 600-foot road frontage.
I know.
So he's
It's
not
kind
doing
of,
that.
it's borderline, kind of some is, some isn't.
Well, so Okay, Route 15 is way down here.
Yeah, that's got 15 down there. This Pinnacle Lane, this Marky Holes.
Mhm.
Funny thing, Pinnacle Lane actually ends at his property. It doesn't even go in there. This is his driveway to, this is his house back here. I wasn't quite sure what to tell him. You need 500, 600 feet,
Well,
or if it's
Um,
2 acre zoning.
so if it's off a public or private road off of Route 15, it
Yes.
only needs 100 feet, I think. Or not more than 150. I think it's 100 in the Route 15 zone. If it's out of the Route 15 zone, it needs 150.
Right.
But the 600 is only along Route 15, a private road off it.
Oh, I see. So
Like-
if these
like
lots were right
even
on
down
Route
here,
15.
yes.
Right.
But even down here off this private road, they could do
Yeah.
100-foot lots frontage. But then when you get out of the Route
Yeah.
15 corridor, it goes to 150 feet, I believe.
Okay. And is it 2 acres or 1 acre?
Oh, it depends if it's out of the corridor or not.
Yeah. Boy, it's kind of weird.
And that corridor is what, 500 feet? From the road or something like that.
I thought it was 1,000.
Well, it could be, I
Yeah.
don't, well, actually. Here, but. Want to look that all up. So what is, he's got, what are the actual lots here? Just these three?
I think so. I think he's crossed this one out.
And that's going to become
And
one
this one
now.
is actually on Pinnacle Lane. He doesn't know. He's just throwing this out, getting some hints. What can I do? What can I not do? You know?
Okay, Route 15 corridor includes all lands within 1,000 feet of the edge of Route 15. Except for areas in the village core, Fisher Bridge.
But isn't it?
So
I thought that was 600 feet.
so it is 600 feet on Route
On
15,
Route
but
15.
100 feet on secondary or private. So
That'll work.
if this is all within
Right.
1,000 feet, which this is 240 feet, 500 feet, 750, 900 to here. This 220, that would certainly work for this.
Right.
This would need probably just 100 feet along this private road. And then. Okay, so he's only doing 2 lots now,
I don't
Yeah.
know.
but anyhow,
Just give me
that's the
generally.
idea.
Yeah. I got it.
All right, I think we're done with that, Maxfield.
All right, it sounds like by you looking at it, you obviously have a better perspective than I do and what can and can't be done or what they should even be thinking about.
Right. A lot of it depends on, how far from Route 15 is it? If you go by the road, it's over 1,000 feet.
Right.
But as the crow flies, it's probably more in the 900 feet range. So, and then it's only a question of do they need, well, actually, can it be 1 or 2 acres, right? And the other thing is, can it be 100 feet of road frontage on the private road or 150 feet?
Right, 'cause there's no actual frontage on Route 15.
No.
I honestly, I've never read the specifics on that section about, the 600 feet, but my guess is that if it's in the Route 15 corridor, it would need 600 feet on Route 15 if that was a subdivision. But if they had another private road or a town road that kind of went, parallel or perpendicular to Route 15, then they might not fall into that category.
That's right. Then you fall into the category of 100 feet. Yeah, it's just along Route 15 itself. Yeah, it's 100 feet on a secondary or a private road. So it'd be like, say, Marsh Road or something like that. That would be 100 feet along that road within 1,000 feet of Route 15. Or any private roads.
And my guess is if you had some kind of a lot that was on the corner of a private or a secondary road and Route 15, and you only had 200 or 300 feet on Route 15, V-Trans is not going to grant you a curb cut.
No, but you would be able to access it from the secondary road.
Yeah, you
Right.
can't access this from Route 15. Have to be on Pinnacle Lane. Right.
So V-Trans, what is their requirement for road frontage? That's completely different from us. Our 600 feet is something we came up with. That's not a Vermont thing.
I don't know. I'm curious what the right of way is. They made Ryan move his containers back.
Yeah, I don't like 10 feet off the road. Made Bruce Stairs building down. That's right. That's right.
So are they looking for just some general feedback?
Yes. Yeah, I got it. Thanks.
Okay. That kind of wraps up the agenda unless anyone has any other business that we didn't touch on. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
That motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion besides the question that, Tom, are we looking at anything potential that you know of for next month, or you haven't seen anything yet?
No, I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay. Well, we'll wait to hear from you if something comes up. If nothing comes up, everyone have a good holiday. And
So if something comes up, is 2 days after Christmas okay with everybody? The 27th?
Fine with me.
I don't think I'm going anywhere.
I would have to get something this week in time to order it, warn it.
Oh yeah, it's scheduled to be the 27th. Yeah, I don't think I'm going anywhere.
Okay.
So other non-DRB business, our regularly scheduled planning commission meeting would be next week, but there's nothing on the agenda at this point. And I'm not looking for things.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Max. Bye.
So